Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my Ironsworn campaign and my channel, Mystic's Table. Today we will be playing session 17 of this Ironsworn campaign. In 16, we left off at a bit of a place, and I'm sorry guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and retcon a few things that happened last session. Not anything too big, just some more clarifying things. So let's do a quick recap. So, the battle. A huge battle happened in the cavern of Cadigan's Refuge. Cadigan led his undead horde into the cavern to meet the elves that had accompanied Albrun into this second delve. However, the elves were able to rally. Supposedly, I'm assuming either they sent one or two elf warriors out to go get more backup, or maybe they use some sort of communication tactics, like maybe with the animals or something. We know the elves are connected to nature. Um, However, they did it, they were able to rally a ton of elves. Basically, an army is like in this cavern. They might even at this point be matched up with the amount of undead that's in this cavern. So it was a huge battle happening, and Cadigan himself was cornered. Albrun had to deal with that. Free Cadigan. That took a bit. Albrun had to enter the fray, and he got his first 2 kills last session, so that was kind of exciting. And on that topic, I want to go ahead and retcon something. So we were able to compel, I believe it was on a weak hit, the elf that was about to literally thrust a spear into Albrun, and that absolutely would have made him face death. So that was a really bad situation. Albrun was able to compel that elf to spare him. Albrun pulled out the urn with the glowing rune and claimed that this is something that is connected to Cadigan's life force. Now, since that hit was successful, I'm going to assume that a lot of these elves had prior knowledge that there was some sort of artifact, relic, whatever, that was keeping Cadigan alive. I assume Lady Anula had briefed her warriors on this, and so they probably had their eyes peeled out for it. And I'm going to say that that is, so this is the retcon, I'm going to say that that was the reason why this elf took Albrun's word at that, because when I was thinking about it from last session, I was thinking, that's kind of crazy, right? That this elf had Albrun, at spear point, ready to kill him, and he just believes what a dead man is saying. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is a good explanation on why the elf would buy that. And also, I want to retcon. We said that we were trying to trick the elf, and we didn't exit combat. We were going to say that this was going to give us some leverage to maybe try to sneak attack the elf or try to run away. I'm going to retcon that, and I'm going to say that with that compel, it is a surrender. It might not be like a, hey, I surrender, capture me kind of thing, but it is a surrender. We put ourselves in an unfavorable position, and last session I said that this elf was like kind of manhandling Albrun. I'm going to say that this elf has even gone as far to restrain Albrun. So Albrun is in a really bad spot right now. He doesn't have physical restraints, but this elf is like kind of Albrun definitely doesn't have his spear anymore. He's unarmed. And he has Albrun by the arm. Albrun cannot like just make a run for it or anything like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that combat track. We compelled and we stopped combat. So I'm gonna say that it's a surrender. It's just not a traditional surrender, but it is a surrender nonetheless. And I'll say, since it's a weak hit, or it was a strong hit, I can't remember. Whatever it was, we compelled when we didn't have the initiative. And so I'm going forward in this campaign. If we compel in a fight and we don't have initiative, so we're compelling from no initiative, I'm going to say that every single time we do that, we are going to be put in a worse spot. Okay, that's the price. I feel like that's the price to pay when you are able to end a fight through compel when you don't have initiative. So we have basically been captured. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that combat track. Okay, so that combat is over. Okay, so that's the one thing I wanted to retcon right there. And I also wanted to say that this elf, um, I feel like I was a little too favorable to Albrun with the results of the compel from last session. I feel like this elf definitely saw Albrun literally butcher two of his comrades. Okay, Albrun literally killed two elves, and so I don't think this elf is very happy with Albrun at all, and he might even be ready to kill Albrun after he delivers him to Lady Anula. So okay, I promise that those are just the retcons. It's just after that session, I was really thinking about it, and I don't think I was like really thinking about the perspective that this elf would have, and I was just kind of telling the story from Albrun's perspective, and I just didn't think it through all the way. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so we are in session 17. Let me finish the recap. Sorry. So yes, we were able to compel this elf that was about to kill us by bringing the urn out, the thing that they all know about. They didn't know it was an urn, they didn't know what it looked like, but they knew of such an artifact, and this triggered the elf to bring the urn and, by proxy, Albrun to Lady Anula. But before they could reach Lady Anula and Lord Lamatu, who have made it like a quarter into this cavern area, an earth primordial appeared. So we had a critical miss last session, and that triggered a new danger appearing on top of the pay the price that we did for the miss. And so it's like this huge earth primordial, right? And it's there in all of its glory. And so this is a new danger, certainly. And that's where we left off. Okay. So I think, like I just said, Albrun is not going to be able to like face danger plus edge right here. Not right now. He can't just run away and break the grip of this elf. I think the best he could do if we wanted to go that route is face danger plus iron, and to like physically break out of the elf's grip, and then face danger plus edge to run away from the elf and dodge the arrows that would certainly be following us. Okay, that sounds like a horrible idea. We have +1 on both of those stats, and if you know anything about Ironsworn, double rolling is a terrible idea. That just, I don't even know. I think mathematically that doubles your chances of having to pay the price or something like that. Might even be exponential. I don't know. So that's not a good idea. That's not what I want to do. And I had a revelation. If you guys remember, towards the end of last session, I had a revelation, and I realized I feel like for the majority of this campaign, we have not been playing Albrun, like from a metagame perspective. I feel like we haven't been playing Albrun the best way that we could play him, and that is to his strengths, to his assets, his literal assets, okay? And it's crazy because I feel like our least used asset so far, I can go back and rewatch the videos and actually tally it up. I think that our least used asset is the trickster asset, which is really weird because that is quite literally what we built the character around. And it's sorry for the side, but I just think it's funny because I remember in session 0, or it was session 1, where I verbatim said I thought that the sided asset would be our least used asset, and I thought it was going to be useless, and I was taking it on for roleplay reasons. I didn't think we would be leveraging sided, but sided has been our most used asset, and it has been a huge like determining factor in the narrative. I mean, we were able to compel Cadigan twice with sided. I mean, it saved us from the force wave over back at Grimbrook with the Iron Pillar. Sorry for that side, but what I was saying is I feel like we haven't been leveraging our assets as well as we could. Okay, I feel like we haven't been trying to trick as much as we should. Albrun should be using his head instead of trying to dive into situations directly and with a confrontational nature. That's just not how we built him. And so I feel like that's why we keep missing, or not why we keep missing, that's the dice, but you get what I mean. I feel like that's why we keep getting in these bad situations. And we just aren't using our modifiers the best that we could. And so with that revelation, I've thought on what we're going to do next. So again, this earth primordial has just appeared, and I think we can literally feel the floor, the walls, the ceiling of this cavern throughout the entire cave system. We can feel just unnatural tremors. It's like this earth primordial is powerful, okay? As we know primordials are. You know, the last primordial we encountered was that river primordial, and that thing was not in good shape because of the force wave from the iron pillar. So that was a primordial that was weakened. This one is not weakened. So this thing is like at its peak, and it clearly has dominion over the earth that surrounds us. So we have to play this carefully, okay? Um and so I think this elf, it seemed like I said last session, I feel like the elves in this cavern that have been fighting the undead and are still fighting the undead, they expected this earth primordial. Okay, so none of them like paused or stopped in the fight. And the undead also didn't stop because they don't really have the ability to be surprised. They're just kind of servants of Cadigan's will. So the fight rages on. And the elf is still taking Albern, you know, after the get stabilized from the tremors that happened from the appearance of this earth primordial. Oh, that reminds me, guys, I forgot, sorry. I wanted to mark menace on our threat track because of the earth primordial. So that was a major plot twist, critical miss that spawned the earth primordial, and I feel like that actually adds to the threat. So, you know, this threat was elves. The elves will recapture Matic and rally reinforcements. This is a rally of reinforcements, the earth primordial. So we're going to mark menace, okay? And unfortunately, that means that we are at 4 boxes on that threat. Ooh, that's not good. Our threat meter is literally tied with our progress meter right now. So we have 4 boxes on our progress for the vow, the dealing with the elves that threaten Matic. We have 4 progress, and now we have 4 menace on our threat track. So, and it's funny because the Ironworn Delve supplement actually explains the threat meter or progress track as almost as a race. You are racing your progress against the threat, and you want to get to the end before the threat does. So this isn't good. In the short amount of time that we've had this threat meter, it has managed to tie up with us. So we need to start making some things happen, okay? And so this elf is leading Albrun to Lady Anula and Lord Lamatu. And I don't think Lady Anula and Lamatu have seen us yet, okay? And I think what we're going to do, like I said, we're not going to try that face danger plus shadow and, plus iron and edge. That's a horrible idea. We are going to play a trick. As we should, we need to play to Albrun's strength. And so I think what we're going to do here is, as we're being led closer and closer to Anula and Lamatu, I think what Albrun is going to do here is we are going to... Let's see, would this be... I think this is secure an advantage because we're going to try to set up another move here. So Albrun is going to attempt to secure an advantage plus shadow. And what we're going to do is we are going to accidentally drop the urn and kind of let it roll away. And I think that the reason why the elf didn't strike Albrun down is because I think the elves are actually very, very nervous about even touching that urn, okay? I mean, the whole reason why we had to come in here is because they couldn't get past the Scold-based magic that was warding and sealing this place off. And I think they are, even to this day, still kind of afraid of this dark magic that Cadigan is using. It's unnatural. It's literally almost antithetical to the elves' very existence, nature-based existence. They don't want to touch that urn. Okay, so I think what Albrun's going to do, he's going to attempt to drop this urn and kind of like maybe even kick it away a little bit, but make it look like he dropped it and it's rolling, and I think we're going to try to go get it. Okay, so that's the fiction, so let's see what happens. So to me, this is a secure an advantage plus shadow. This is deception and trickery, so roll plus shadow, okay? So, and we are going to utilize our trickster asset, of course. So we're going to add a +1 to that. And I don't think this is an opportunistic You are quick to adapt your actions based on what is expedient or effective, regardless of ethical principles. I mean, yeah, tricking is not ethical, but I don't feel like this is opportunistic. This is just straight trickery, okay? So we're just going to utilize our trickery, our trickster asset, okay? So this is +4. Yep, this is a +4 roll on secure advantage. Okay, hopefully it works, guys. 6 on the action die, +4 is a 10 versus a 2 and a 6. That is a strong hit on secured advantage. That's more like it, guys. This is what we got to start doing. We got to start using our head. Okay, so on a strong hit, you gain advantage. Choose one. We can take control, make another move now, or prepare to act. Take +2 momentum. Ooh, that momentum is... oh, wait. Do we get a... No, we don't get any momentum. Okay. That momentum is very tempting, but I kind of want to take that +1 because I think what's going to happen. So what Alburn does is he accidentally drops the urn and it rolls back. And the elf looks, and I'm just going to say, I'll go get it. And this was a strong hit, so the elf is going to, not really thinking, let go of Albrun so that he can go get it. And I wonder if this elf is going to pick up on what we're trying to do. So we're going to go chase after this urn, okay? And I want to say, as we chase after it, Albrun's kind of kicking it a little bit, so we're getting a little far. So we have put some good distance between us and that elf. And remember, all the other elves are still distracted because they're all still in combat with the various undead creatures. So we're kind of bobbing and weaving. But we probably can't get that far without that elf like picking up on this trick. So now we have to do our next move, okay? And so to me, I feel like this is face danger, and I think I can make an argument for face danger plus shadow because we are still tricking this elf. We are still chasing after this urn, but now we're going to try to escape. I don't feel like this is edge because we aren't necessarily using speed, agility, or precision. We are kind of sticking with this trick and kind of seeing how far we can let it go out, if that makes sense, okay? So, yeah, I feel like this is face danger because, okay, face danger, when you attempt something risky, okay, that's what we're doing. This is pretty risky trying to run away from this elf, but we aren't doing it with speed, you know what I mean? We're not trying to sprint away. We're going to try to keep bobbing and weaving, chasing the urn, and let the elf catch on when they catch on, but hopefully we can get out of here before this elf, and hopefully maybe even this elf can't catch him. We'll see. Let's just roll. I'm going to say that this is face danger plus shadow. This is still deception. This is still trickery, okay? And since this is still a trick, we're going to utilize our trickster asset again. So this is going to be face danger +4. Face danger +4, okay? Oh, wait. And we got that secure an advantage. Face danger +5 because we got secure an advantage. We were able to set the trick up. Now we're going to follow through, okay? It's funny because I talked about how I thought double rolling was like the dumbest thing ever, but that's what you have to do with the secure an advantage is almost always a double roll. Okay, let's see what happens. So this is +5. 5 on the action die, so that makes it a 10. Oh, versus a 10 and a 5. Oh, I wasn't expecting a 10 on the challenge die. Okay, so that's a weak hit on face danger. So on a weak hit, you succeed but face a troublesome cost. I wonder what this cost could be. Definitely not anything to do with resources. I don't think it has anything to do with spirit or stress. Possibly harm, but we are at +1 health. So I think what we have here is a momentum thing. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. Suffer 1 momentum. So we're going to go down to +1 momentum. And what is the fiction for that? So we are chasing this urn. Oh, wait a minute. Let me take a look at the map. Where's the map? Where are we headed? We are actually headed back into... oh, yeah. Okay, so... I know what the new danger is. Okay. Yikes. Okay, this isn't good. So that Earth Primordial that appeared is finally entering combat, okay? The Earth Primordial is clearly on the elf side, and like I said, this thing has complete dominion over the just cavern that surrounds us, and tremors start to form, tremors start to vibrate. Albrun is still chasing this urn, okay, and the urn is kind of bouncing all over the place because of these tremors. I think that the elf that had us has lost us in just the chaos of the battle at this point. And whether or not the elf picked up on the trick that we were playing, it's too late anyways. The elf has lost us in the crowd. But the earth primordial has entered the fray. And now all of those stalactites that are on the ceiling are starting to fall. And it's in a controlled fashion. The earth primordial is very precise with these stalactites. And so stalactites are starting to fall on the various undead creatures here. Okay? And it's working. The undead creatures don't really have the I guess the higher level intellect to really like perceive what's happening and to dodge these stalactites. So a lot of these undead things are getting pinned down. Bone walkers are getting like shattered. Their skeletons are falling apart. A lot of those meatier, fleshier undead things are getting pinned into the cavern floor by stalactites falling. And I almost want to say that Albrun. Well, no, we said that this earth primordial. I'm gonna say this. We did say that the earth primordial is very precise with these stalactites. It's not happening randomly. The earth primordial is it's very controlled with the stalactites. And so I don't know. I don't think that this earth primordial sees us as a threat right now. Okay. So we don't have any stalactites falling on us, but we're kind of dodging and stuff. But we paid the price with the momentum. And I think that this is just kind of slowing us down. But we succeed. We succeed. This was a weak hit, not a miss. We succeed, and we are able to make it to the other cavern. This is the cavern with the body pit, and the battle hasn't reached this part of the cavern, and this is where Cadigan went. Okay, so Albrun succeeds, and he has finally escaped the battlefield. That was scary. Just to remind you guys, we are at 1 health, 1 spirit, 1 supply, and now we are at 1 momentum. And we only have 2 essence. So Albrun is really, really, really not doing well. But this is from 2 sessions ago. We have to deal with these reinforcements in order to either... I mean, it was the choice between escaping the depths or... No. It was when we advanced the threat. We rolled advanced threat, and we had to mark menace. And the outcome of that was we can either deal with the reinforcements and mark progress on the vow, or we could mark menace, and we wanted to deal with these reinforcements, so we still have a job to do here. And so I think our next play is to find Cadigan. I think we want to locate Cadigan, and we need to talk to him about releasing this bone horde, if he's not already doing that. I imagine that that's what he's doing. I think that's what he's doing. Who knows what the dice are going to say. But we need to locate him. I almost want to say that it's almost certainly that he's in the bottom of this cavern with the bone horde or something like that. So I'm like debating on whether or not it's necessary for us to like gather information to try to find him. I'm not going to undertake a journey. I don't think that makes sense to me. Okay, well, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I think what we're going to do here... Let's see. I don't feel like this is risky, and it's not an imminent threat, so we're not going to face danger. Let's see. You assess the situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage. No, we're not doing any of that. We're not following a track. I don't think Cadigan has left track. Well... Was he bleeding? I don't know. You know what, guys? I don't think this triggers a move at all. I think we're just going to go to the bottom of the cavern. We already know the way there. And it's almost assuredly that Cadigan is there. I guess we could ask the Oracle. So Albrun is going to make his way. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Albrun is making his way all the way down to the bottom of the cavern. So this is through those cramped caves, through the second thing of twisting passages, through that like corrupted area, over the natural bridge, past the rune archway in the big cavern with the altar and the bone horde. Okay, so now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask the oracle to see if Cadigan is there before we describe what we see. Okay, so I think that's what we're gonna do because I just kind of want to roll because it's possible that maybe Cadigan is doing something else. I don't know. Okay, and at that point we would have to gather information to try to find where he is. So we're gonna ask the oracle, and like I said, I think it is almost certain that Cadigan is here. I don't know where else he would be. I feel like this makes the most sense from his character's perspective to go here. This is probably the most fortified location. I mean, it has his most powerful servant, the Bone Horde. This is the safest place for him, I think. So that means 11 or greater, Cadigan is here. Anything less than 11 on a D100 roll, Cadigan is not here. Okay? That's very interesting. That will be very interesting if that's the case. But let's just ask the oracle. 53, Cadigan is here. Okay, like we thought. So Albrun, and remember, his arm is still ravaged. He is not doing well. And we had that gash from that spear. So Albrun, oh god, yeah, Albrun's not good at all. So right arm is limped. You know, he's kind of got his other arm like clutched over his chest to staunch the bleeding. He's not doing well at all. And I think you can even see it on his face. He's sweating profusely. His body is trying to push out as much adrenaline and cortisol as it can to keep him up on his feet in this very stressful time. And Albrun gets into the archway, braces himself. I think he almost like falls against the pillar. And Cadigan is there in the cavern. And it looks like he is now. What is he doing? I wonder what he's doing. Do we have an oracle table that has mystic? I know that there's a mystic backlash table. That's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm wondering if there's a. What about an action and theme? Well, no, we don't need to roll on the oracle. We can use our common sense. Cadigan. I think Cadigan is about to release this bone hoarder. I don't see why he wouldn't. The only reason why I'm hesitating is because I feel like this is narratively, like I feel like we're giving ourselves a freebie here because that's what we want to happen. We want the bone horde to be released, and so like I'm trying not to be biased here, but I like logically I think that's exactly what Cadigan, someone in his situation, in his shoes right now, would be doing, is releasing his strongest thing. Okay, and there's still those wards on the archway, so I think Cadigan is actually here, not that far into the cavern, within a few meters of Albrun, and I think Cadigan is actually about to take these wards down. And Cadigan sees Albrun in the archway not looking too good, and he's what color was his eyes? Was it copper? Did he have copper eyes? Oh wait, I forgot. He's a husk, so he has huge black eyes, and he doesn't even have his skulled eyes anymore. He's a husk now. I forgot about that. But his dark, completely black voided eyes open and look at Albrun and say, "Oh, the elves did a number on you too, huh?" And he's like laughing to himself, and Albrun's gonna say, "So you're taking the wards down?" And Kana's gonna say, yes, it's time. I'm gonna have to release my prized servant, my most loyal servant, and destroy these elves once and for all. Because remember, Cadigan is kind of overtaken by the spirit of vengeance at this point. And so, I don't think we need to roll. Cadigan is an elder mystic. He's clearly adept at magic. He created the wards himself. He knows how to turn them off. And so Cadigan, arms outstretched, just kind of like lowers his arms, and we can't see it, but the glowing runes that were like, those tablets that were on the archway into this cavern, the glow stops. And so this bone horde that has been kind of in the center of this cavern this entire time finally takes like its first tentative step because it's no longer bound in here. And I think that this thing actually, as it's like walking towards its master Cadigan, towards the entrance of this archway, it's going to actually change its shape, as bone hordes are capable of. So remember, we said that it looked like a spider mixed with like a hydra with like multiple vertebrae and skulls and stuff. I think that as it's walking towards Cadigan. And we actually described this last time. I think we did. I can't remember. But the bones all of a sudden kind of shift and just like rearrange themselves by some magical force, and all the like multiple legs that this thing had come into its body. The multiple necks it has kind of like shifts, and now it only has like one long like fortified vertebrae. So it's like it's not even its neck isn't even made out of vertebrae bones. It's like made out of like forearms, hands. It's just horrible. But it turns itself into like a snake-like thing that's just like a whole bunch of bones just like spiraled together with like multiple skulls in the front, all with glowing eyes. So it's like a huge like snake, but not quite. It's disgusting. But like it's like so now it's starting to like slither at this point, and it slithers up right behind Cadigan, and Cadigan smiles to himself, and I think Cadigan is ready to take this on. And here's what we're gonna do. Alberin's gonna say, a primordial appeared. It seems the elves are in some sort of alliance with an earth primordial. It's this thing. It's made out of boulders. It's huge. It's shake. We can and they can feel it right now. Those tremors from the stalactites falling and stuff. You can almost feel like it's like the primordial. You can feel the breathing in the floor of the cavern. Just the very earth that surrounds us is like humming with that influence of the primordial. And so it's very clearly powerful, okay? And so Cadigan's gonna say, yes, yes, I felt it. I know. But and he looks at his bone hoard. I think we will be fine. Okay. And so okay. And I think Cadigan. Okay, well, Cadigan is gonna climb onto the back of this bone hoard, and it's gonna slither. It's gonna slither its way into to where the battle is. Now the question is, does Alburn join them? I think we have the option here to escape the depths again, because now the bone hoard is released, and well, here's the thing. I thought for sure, I said assuredly that if the bone hoard is released, those elves are slaughtered. But now they have an earth primordial, and I think an earth primordial and a bone hoard are a pretty good matchup for each other. So I don't even know if we can say that it's in Cadigan's absolute favor anymore. I think it could almost be a toss-up. But I mean, Albrun is like beaten up. 1 health, 1 spirit, 1 supply, 1 momentum, 2 essence. What can we do? I don't know if we can help. We have the urn, but that's to deal with Cadigan. That was our what's the word? That was our Hail Mary. If we manage to succeed here, we really need to deal with these reinforcements because I want to mark with progress. Okay, well, you know what? You know what? We may not be able to help in the battle, but we can possibly help with strategy. So you know what? Albin's gonna say, "Wait!" as Cadigan is slithering, and the bone horde stops, and Albin's gonna say, he's gonna reach a hand out. And he's gonna say, "Take me with you. We need to finish this." And Cadigan is actually gonna help Alrune up onto the back of this bone horde, and they're gonna slither their way to that cavern where the battle is. And so as we closer and closer, the tremors that just surround, the floor, the walls, the ceilings of this cavern are just getting stronger and stronger as we get closer, and we emerge into the cavern, okay, where the battle is taking place. And I would say at this point, it's very clearly the entire battle is very clearly in the elves' favor. So the elves, again, they are very organized. They have been able to create multiple flanks, multiple lines. Elves are fighting together now. They're not really divided. And there's definitely less undead than there are elves at this point. A lot of the undead, again, have been taken out by the falling stalactites. The undead that haven't are in fights with multiple elves, being outnumbered. And so the elves are definitely winning this fight. In the Earth Primordial, I think it stopped raining stalactites on the undead, and at this point, it's just kind of bludgeoning where it can, like a freaking like just huge monster with it, like using its boulder arms as a club. It's just bludgeoning undead where it can, and it's making sure it's not hitting elves either. Okay, and I think as we slither in, because we're in this, you remember this bone horde. In its previous form, it was like 50 feet tall, so it was huge. Now in its snake form, I would say like slithering on the ground, it's probably only like I will say 6 or 7 feet tall. But once we get into the cavern and it rears up, now it's like at its full height and it rivals the Earth Primordial. And I think so. Pretty much every elf in this cavern is looking at this thing, and some elves even like maybe even throw up and are just like absolutely disgusted at this thing. That, like I said, this bone horde is a profanity to nature. Everything that the elves stand against. Okay, and Lady Anula and Lord Lamatu both spot us because they're looking at this bone horde. They spot us right behind Cadigan. It's almost like, you know, those couples that like ride on a motorcycle. Like Alburn's like, it's like hugging Cadigan's waist, you know, to stabilize himself. Um, Alburn's a freaking traitor. I mean, there's no way to hide it at this point. And you know, so they're looking at us with a critical eye. And I think the most obvious thing, though, the most scary thing about us entering this cavern on the back of this bone horde is that the Earth Primordial looks at the bone horde and just unleashes a terrifying, low, rumbling roar. Okay, this Earth Primordial is all of its attention is on the bone horde now. Okay, and I think we are actually going to slide off the back. Cadigan's going to slide off the back of this bone horde. We are going to do the same. Okay, and hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can just figure out how exactly we're going to... Well, like I said, Albrun, we're not going to enter any fights here. Albrun needs to stay out of danger, so he's going to stick by Cadigan, and I think both of them are going to stick on the edge of this cavern. So we do not want to put ourselves in harm's way. But like I said, Albrun can help with strategy. So I think Albrun's going to say to Cadigan, he's going to say, the Earth Primordial is not the target you want. You need to take out those two. And he's pointing at Lord Lamatu and Lady Anula, who are behind enemy lines of the elves, and they're kind of giving commands. And they're kind of actually, I feel like they're actually running a command center, or almost a impromptu command center, and they're talking to their multiple lieutenants, and they're the ones organizing like the flanks and stuff, and they're the brains behind the elves' advantage right now. And Cadigan is gonna nod in agreement, but he's gonna say, I don't think my servant, my creation, is going to be able to make it to them without running into that. And he's pointing at the Earth Primordial, of course. So we gave that information to Cadigan about where to attack. So I think this is going to trigger some sort of roll. I wonder... I don't know, I always feel weird about rolling with Albrun stats for stuff that doesn't involve Albrun. You know what I mean? Like, how are we going to roll to determine how well the Bone Horde does? I don't know if it's as simple as asking the Oracle. You know what I mean? Well, you know what? I wonder if maybe we can give a strategy to Cadigan to maybe trick the Earth Primordial and give an opening for the Bone Horde to go after Lord Lamatu and Lady Anula. I wonder if that's something that we can do. Okay, how can we trick this Earth Primordial? So the gears in his head are churning. So we know that this Earth Primordial was its attention immediately was focused on the Bone Horde upon us entering. Oh, wait a minute. The Bone Horde can change shapes. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me check the Ironsworn rule book. I'm pretty sure there's actually there's a there's a description. Oh wait, no. Bone Horde is a delve. Sorry, Bone Horde is a delve. It was a creature added by delve, not in the base game. Yeah, Bone Horde. Yeah, it can alter shape, damage terrain or architecture, envelope and crush, and strike with skeletal appendages. Oh, and its drives are to gather new bones. Wait a minute. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I was gonna talk to Cadigan, and he's gonna say, "Wait a minute. Uh, there's a lot of fallen bone walkers here, and a lot of fallen elves. Can your bone horde perhaps get stronger? I don't know, get some more bones?" And Cadigan is not even going to answer that, and he's going to command his bone horde. And I think the bone horde. Okay, so I'm going to say that the Earth Primordial at this point, I think it's going to actually start charging. Well, no, it's not going to charge. It's an Earth Primordial, so it's not very fast. But it's going to start lumbering its way towards us. And I think that the Bone Horde has a little bit of time to maybe try to collect a few more bones to its collection and maybe try to grow its size, and perhaps get an advantage. Okay, an advantage over. An advantage over. An advantage over the Primordial. Okay, and the trick that we're gonna play here, I think Alvin's gonna say, we need to slow down. We need to slow down that Primordial. Have your undead. The Primordial, I was watching it, and it is doing its very best to avoid hurting any elves. Can you command your undead creatures to move the fight in the way of the Primordial as it's coming towards us? Okay, and Albert is speaking really fast to try to get this, okay? And Cadigan's gonna go for it. We don't even need to like compel or anything. So this to me, okay, yeah, since this was Albrun's idea, I feel like we can roll secure an advantage with Albrun's stats. And this is a trick, okay? So I feel like this is secure an advantage. When you assess a situation, make preparations or attempt to gain leverage. Yep, that sounds like secure an advantage. So this is secure an advantage plus shadow plus our trickster asset. So this is going to be +4, I think. Yeah. So this is +4. We're going to see if this trick, if this idea of Albrun's work. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I feel like, actually, wait a minute. I feel like we can leverage our opportunistic demeanor because we're trying to leverage the lives of these elves. We are attempting to put the elves in harm's way to further end our goals. So yeah, we are also going to leverage our virtue from opportunistic. So this is plus shadows 3, plus tricksters 4, plus demeanor virtue is 5. This is a +5 roll. Okay, I'm definitely liking this. Using tricks is definitely what we should do more because this is our strength. We need to do this more. 5 on the action die, +5 is a 10 versus a 2 and a 3 strong hit on secure an advantage. We gain an advantage. We can choose one. Take control. Prepare to act. I'm gonna take the momentum. So we're gonna go up to 3 momentum, and so we are successful. So Cadigan wills the little bit of, not little bit, but the minions that he has left, the undead beasts and bone walkers and stuff that is still under his command. He has them subtly, not even subtly, it's very obvious. The undead, they start to kind of draw the elves into the way of this Earth Primordial. And I don't think the elves realize it. So they're getting in the way of this Earth Primordial. So now the Earth Primordial, it was trying to make a beeline towards the Bone Horde, but now it's having to like very carefully step to make sure it doesn't crush any elves on its way over here. So it has been significantly, so this was a strong hit. So this, I want to say that this Earth Primordial has been significantly slowed down, and that gives us the opening Cadigan needs to send his Bone Horde towards Anula and Lamatu, and make a move. Okay, so let's see. What move is that? I almost want to do an Ask the Oracle move because I don't want to roll Albrun stats for the Bone Horde. You know what I mean? Like, this Bone Horde is much more powerful than Albrun, so it just doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't feel right to me to roll Albrun stats, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I think we're going to Ask the Oracle. I think this is a Fate roll. We're going to have to leave this to the hands of Fate. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at our options for Ask the Oracle. So, let's see. Draw a conclusion. Decide the answer based on the most interesting and obvious result. Ask a yes or no question. Decide the odds of a yes and roll on the table below to check the answer. That's usually what we do when we Ask the Oracle. Or we can pick two, envision two options. Rate one as likely and then roll on the table below to see if it's true. If not, it is the other. Spark an idea. Brainstorm or use a random prompt. Okay. I'm thinking we do the pick two option. Or we can do a yes no. Should we just do a yes no and make it a 50-50? Is the Bone Horde... No, we're going to do the two options, okay? So it's the pick two options. Envision two options, rate one as likely, and roll on the table below to see if it's true. If not, it's the other. So our two options. Option one, the Bone Horde is able to reach Lady Anula and Lord Lamatu. We gave it the opening. That was a strong hit on Secure an Advantage. So the opening is there, okay? That's no longer in the question. The opening is there. The Bone Horde has the path it needs to get to the path and the time to get to Lord Lamatu without the Earth Primordial stopping it. So I'm going to say that it is likely that the Bone Horde reaches this command center of the elves' higher ranking combatants, lords, lieutenants, etc., and is able to basically decimate them. Okay, I'm going to say that that's the likely option, and the unlikely option is that somehow the Earth Primordial maybe is able to somehow stop the Bone Horde through great effort and perhaps sacrifice of its own. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So this is likely. So 26 or greater, and the Bone Horde succeeds in wiping out the Elvish command centers. Okay, and we don't have any modifiers, so this is out of Albrun's hands. We aren't rolling any of our stats. We're not leveraging any of our assets. This is in the hands of Fate. Okay, we want that 26 or greater. Okay, I really hope. I hope it works, guys. 35. Okay, the Bone Horde, in its snake form, slither. No. I would say, it slithers. No. No, it doesn't slither. So I'm going to say that the Bone Horde, at Cadigan's command, quickly alters its shape. And it turns into a monstrous form. It now has multiple arms. I would say it has like 8 arms. It's standing on 2 feet, and so like it kind of like it goes from its snake form and it just kind of like fans out into having like 8 arms. Multiple. We're gonna go back to the multiple like Hydra like necks and skulls, and you know what? I'm gonna say it doesn't even have 2 feet. I'm gonna say so the 8 arms kind of transition into multiple like appendages for legs. And again, remember, all of these things are made out of bones, and that doesn't mean that like the arms are all made out of arm bones. Like there's like skulls, there's toes. It's all just bones forming these shapes. Okay, and so the Bone Horde quickly like changes its shape, and then with all of these appendages, it just launches itself and rushes at the command center. And when it gets there, it takes and it's still altering its shape. And it's like a whole bunch of bones just go into like one huge appendage, one huge like arm, hand like appendage, and just slams on the group of high ranking elves. And since we rolled on the likely and it's true, I'm going to say that this move kills. I'm going to say that this move kills the elves, kills all of the elves. Lady Anula dies. Lord Lumatu dies. The elven lieutenants, high ranking ones that came from reinforcements, they're dead. So we just took out a huge significant portion of the elves, and so I'm gonna mark progress on our dealing with the elves that threaten Matic Val. That's very significant. So we just took out the leadership of Phythalor and the leadership of who knows how many neighboring elvish settlements. So yep, we're gonna mark progress on that. And remember about the alternate rules that we implemented for our vows. So we just crossed a threshold mark on that formidable vow, so we get to take 1 experience, okay? So remember, this is different from base Ironsworn. So for the vows that we're doing now, we have these threshold marks, and when we pass them, we get an experience. So basically, this allows you to earn experience as you complete a vow instead of getting it in a lump sum at the end. And it also allows you to earn experience even if you end up missing on fulfill your vow. So we're going to take that 1 experience. So now we are finally, after all this time, up 1 experience. Cool. That's pretty awesome. And we still haven't resolved that threat because we took out. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. We said those were the reinforcements. That was the leadership of the reinforcements. You know what? So we're gonna resolve that. Remember from 2 sessions ago, if we dealt with the reinforcements, the advance the threat said that we could either reach a milestone or mark menace, depending on how that went. We just took out the leadership of the reinforcements. So we're going to advance another milestone, okay? So we are at 6 boxes on that vow, okay? Cool. Okay, and I think the elves are looking at the scene in horror as just, so now that skeletal appendage, it's stained with blood. So now this bone horde, as it's still shifting its shape, the bones are stained red with the blood that's now still wet blood that's dripping all over it from just annihilating so many of the elves. And Cadigan is cackling. I mean, this is what he's been dreaming of. He's just so ecstatic to see Lady Anula destroyed. Okay, so what's the move here? We need to deal with well, you know what? I think it's time for Albrun to make his escape. We just saw the leadership of a majority of the elves get decimated. So I want to say that this is a good time for us to escape the depths and see if we can get out of here. Okay. I don't think we need to stay and finish up with these elves. I think, well, you know what? You know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. This Earth Primordial is still a chess piece, okay? The Earth Primordial. So, the time that it took for the time it took for the Bone Horde to do this, the Earth Primordial was able to finally get around these elves without hurting any of them. But it wasn't able to stop the Bone Horde from the very strategic attack it was able to make. But I think the Earth Primordial at this point literally tackles the Bone Horde. So the Earth Primordial, with a just huge roar, it finally is able to charge and tackle the Bone Horde. And I'm going to say that the Bone Horde, again, upon impact, it alters its shape. And instead of taking the brunt force of this huge rock primordial, it alters its shape around the tackling primordial, and kind of uses its bones to kind of encase the earth primordial. So now the earth primordial is like having to like smash itself to try to destroy these bones. But horrors, as you know, those of you who are familiar with Ironsworn know that a lot of horrors can't necessarily be killed with normal means. So This is just a battle of will at this point. Mm, I think what I want to do here is I kind of want to make something else happen. Okay, so because I want some more progress on our vow, and I think that the best way we can do that is to attempt to finish off the rest of these elven warriors who are still fighting these undead beasts, and now they're fighting with a lot more fervor. I mean, they just saw their leadership get decimated, and I think a lot of them are attempting to get into a nice retreat formation, but they've lost the strategic edge they had. So we're going to use this opportunity for Albern to attempt to get to the other side of the cavern, where the entrance, the mouth of the cave is. So to me, this sounds like a face danger. But I don't know if it's going to be with speed, agility, or precision, because it's not like there's not any enemies like after us right now. So it's not like we're like running for our lives. I want to say almost with stealth. Albern's going to try to stick to the cavern wall, try to avoid getting into any fights, and he's going to try to just make his way to the mouth. So we're going to roll plus shadow. This is face danger plus shadow. We are trying to move into a better position. No, wait, no. This is secure advantage. I'm sorry. This is secure advantage because I'm about to try to leverage something. So we are trying to get into a better position to make something else happen. Okay? So this is secure advantage plus shadow. Is it? Stealth. Yeah, stealth. So it's shadow. Okay. So this is secure advantage plus shadow. And this isn't a trick or anything yet. So this is just straight shadow. So raw shadow. So plus 3. This is secure advantage plus 3. Ooh. No. It's a 1 on the action die. Plus 3 is a 4 versus a 4 and a 5. Oh, and we only have 3 momentum. Oh wait, is there anything we can do? No, there's nothing we can do. It's a miss. On a miss, you fail. Pay the price. No. Okay, what's the price? Oh god dang it, what's the price? Oh my god, I really didn't need a miss right there. Okay. Okay, so we were trying to move to the mouth of this cave. Oh my god, I'm so mad. I really didn't need a miss right there. Okay, I think I'm gonna roll on the pay the price table. Oh god, we only have 1 health. Oh, I'm so scared. Okay, I think I'm gonna roll on the pay the price table, guys. Oh, please don't be combat. Please don't be combat. 27. 27. 27. Something of value is lost or destroyed? No! And I know what it is, and I was about to use it. It's the urn. I think it's the urn. Gosh darn it, it was the urn. That's what I was going to try to do. I was about to... Okay, I'm just going to come clean with you guys. What I was about to do is I was trying to create another trick. I was going to have Albrun attempt to use the urn to double-cross Cadigan, show him that we have it from across the cavern, enrage him, and get the bone horde or the primordial, whatever, to kind of like come after us. And I was going to try to trick the primordial into caving this whole place in. But it sounds like to me, as we've made our way to the entrance of this cave... Wait, no. It's a miss. So I don't... Well, hold on. On a miss, you fail. You fail. You fail and you pay the price. So we failed and we paid the price. So we don't make it to the mouth of the cave. So we're like trying to stick to the cavern wall. We're doing this with stealth. And so we fail doing this with stealth. So I think what happens is an elf sees us. Oh god. An elf sees us and it's looking like it's gonna advance on us. No, I really don't want to enter the fray. What can we do? Okay, so that elf is advancing on us, okay? And I think I know what happens. That sucks. Oh. Well, I guess this is actually kind of a double-edged sword. Even though this was a miss and we're paying the price, something good does come out of this. So as this elf quickly, like, it sees us, catches our eye, and I think that it, you know what? It's the same elf that had captured us and was going to take us to Lady Anula and saw us kill two two of his comrades. And so he is very angry, and it's the same elf that sees us. Okay, and he takes his spear. No, I don't even think he takes his spear. I think he has his bow. Oh, frick. He has his bow. And he wants to kill us. He wants us dead. He wants to take revenge, retribution for what happened to his sworn lady and his sworn lord. So he's going to draw an arrow and try to shoot us. And as we see that, we see it, Albrun, because again, remember how in horrible shape he's in, he tries to turn around and run, but he loses his footing. He falls on his back. Remember, that's where his pack is, and that's what the urn is in. He falls on his back, and the urn shatters in his backpack. The urn is lost. This urn that we have been keeping, it's lost. And like I said, here's what we've been saying, allegedly, that this urn is a thing that was connected to Cadigan's life force, okay? It was never really confirmed. So I think we're going to ask the Oracle here whether or not the shattering of this urn affects Cadigan. Basically, does it kill him or not, okay? Is this what we thought it was? And I want to say almost certain. I want to say almost certainly. This urn was guarded by those Varu, those undead Varu. Cadigan took the urn from us when we first met him in the Delve site, so he clearly wanted it back, and he sent it back with the Varu to be protected. You know, Lady Anula had divined that there was some sort of artifact, and we haven't found any other artifact in here besides that urn. There was some sort of artifact that Cadigan had bound himself to. Okay. Now, I think I could think of an alternative if this happens to not be true, but these are the assumptions. And so I think with all of that kind of circumstantial evidence, I want to say that it is almost certain that this was the artifact in question. It wasn't confirmed, but we're going to... Now the pie is in the pudding, I guess. So we're going to roll. 11 or greater, this was the said artifact. Anything less, it wasn't. Maybe it was a red herring, I don't know. So... Oh yeah, I think that's a 66. So yeah, it definitely was. And so as we fall, and the moment that we fall and the urn shatters in our bag, Cadigan screams and he falls down. And he had this gray withered skin, and it just starts desiccating, like just starting hardening up like dried clay and cracking, and he's just screeching through all this. It's so painful for him. Oh, and I wonder if his life... Oh, and we're gonna have to ask the Oracle about that. Hold on, before I do that. So Cadigan, and so he's literally turning into dust, so he's screaming, he's dying right now, okay? And another role that I think we need to ask the Oracle about is, I'm certain that the Bone Horde is independent of Cadigan's life force. So the fact that Cadigan is dying does not get rid of the Bone Horde. It's a horror. Okay, that thing exists. Now it's no longer bound to Cadigan's will. So this Bone Horde is going to become completely unpredictable and completely dangerous. Now that Cadigan is dead, its master is dead. Whatever magic that Cadigan was using to control this thing is going to be gone in a few seconds. But my question is, with these other lesser undead, the things that Cadigan raised, so the boars, the bears, the bone walkers, the corpses, all of that stuff, do those things continue to... I think that the bone walkers... I think for certain that the bone walkers will be fine, because those are horrors as well. So I think that those can exist without constant magic fuel from Cadigan. But I'm curious about the corpses and the animals, if those things... Because those things... Remember the wolf that attacked us? It was like it was being puppeted. It wasn't itself. It didn't have its own drive and ambition. So I'm wondering if those things are going to suddenly be disabled now that Cadigan is dying. So we're going to ask the Oracle. And I think I'm going to make this 50-50. Okay? I don't think it's really leaning one way or the other. We're just going to say 0 to 50. Well, no. We'll make low is no. So 0 to 50, Yeah, 0 to 50. Most of the undead creatures that are here fighting the elves, so the bear, like I just said, the ones I described, those ones are gonna immediately fall because they're just meat sacks, and there's like no more magic that's powering them now that Cadigan is dying, and so a lot of elves are gonna be freed up, and that is very complicated for us. And then 51 or greater, they are true undead, and they are able to exist without Cadigan's life force, and so they stay in battle. But maybe they get confused. I think either way they're going to get confused, and maybe some of them are going to try to flee the cave because they're no longer bound by Cadigan's will if he's dead. Okay. So this is just, yeah, that's what we're going to do. 64. Okay. That's the more favorable option for us. All of the undead. So as Cadigan is dying, I think a weight is lifted off of a lot of these undead creatures, and there's no longer a will that's subjugating them to obey Cadigan. He's dead. He just puffed into ash at this point. He's just a pile of ash at this point. And so I think some undead are going to stop fighting the elves and going to attempt to flee the cavern. Some are going to continue. I think the more aggressive undead, so like the undead bears, the undead boars, and perhaps the bone walkers, all of those are going to keep fighting, not because they're bound by Cadigan anymore, but just because they're really aggressive by nature, being undead. But I think like the undead wolves and the Harrow spiders that were in the fight, and all of those lesser, not so aggressive undead and animals, they're gonna like flee. Okay, so even though this was more favorable for us, ultimately net wise, this was a net negative. So some of the elves are freed up now. Okay. And I think, let's see, we failed, so we're not even close to the mouth of the cave, and there's still that one elf that was mad at us that was lining up a bow shot. We're on the ground. We're laying on our back right now, so I think we have to face danger plus edge. I think we have to try to quickly get up. Oh god, oh my god, I really don't want to endure any harm. We're at 1 health. Frick. Okay, you know what? We have to play it to our advantage here. I don't want to do this plus edge. We need to try to come up with a trick. We need to try to. Is there some mind game we can play? We only have 2 essence. I don't want to roll invoke. What can we do? Okay, we're on our back. What can we do? What can we do here? What can we do here? Deception, stealth, trickery. We definitely can't do any stealth here. We might be able to pull off some deception if I can think of something. If I can think of something. Is there any way we can deceive this elf that's about to shoot us? Can we... What can we do? We're on the ground right now. I don't know. I don't think there's any trick that we can pull up our sleeve right now. I'm really trying to think, but I don't think there is. I don't think Alvin has an option except for trying to get up. Just try to dodge the arrow. Put himself in a better situation. I think we have to face danger plus edge. I don't think there's any other option right now. Yeah, we're just not in the position to trick this elf. We don't have any supplies. We don't have any magic for any illusions. We have to face danger plus edge. We don't have a choice. Okay, so dang it, that sucks. Really? Is there nothing we can do? Is there nothing else we can do? Is there some way we can trick this elf? I don't think there is. What about a feint? What if we try to get up to go one way, but then we quickly juke? No, I think that's still edge. That's a stretch to call that deception. That's still edge. That's still using your agility a little bit. Yeah, we don't have an option. We have to roll face danger plus edge. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's try to roll well, I guess. Oh my gosh, guys, we have 1 health. we don't have a choice. We have to do face danger plus edge. +1. It's a 2 on the action die. +1 is a 3. Versus a 1 and a 3. And you know what? We have 3 momentum. I'm tempted to cancel that 3 action die to turn this into a strong hit. You know what? We only have 3 momentum. We might as well burn it. We're burning it. We're going to turn this into a strong hit, baby. So we go down to 2 momentum. Strong hit on face danger. On a strong hit, you were successful. Take 1 momentum. We're going to go back up to 3 momentum. That was worth it. And we undoubtedly succeed. So as we get up, we get up in one direction, but then we quickly, because remember, Albrun is horrible right now. Bleeding gash across his chest. Right arm is completely numb at this point. He gets up, but he rolls the other way, and the arrow whizzes past him, hits the stone cavern, and he rolls up on his feet and he runs. And I don't think we need to face danger again because we got that strong hit. We run to the mouth of this cave, okay? But we're not done here, okay? I want to get the Bone Horde's attention. So we are able to escape that elf that is like having it out for him. We might have to give him a name. It seems like this dude is might be a significant player in the future. I don't know. But I don't know. I guess it depends on if he survives this. I'm not done here. I know we could try to escape the depths here, but I really want to attempt to cave this place in and just take out all of these elves. Okay, that would be a significant thing to do progress for, and I want to try to make it happen. How can we get this Bone Horde? Because remember, the Bone Horde, it's altered its shape, and it's kind of like just like bones have just like are like digging into the earth primordial just all over the place. Like it's like the Bone Horde has coated itself in the earth primordial. So it's kind of like a combined thing. It's like the Bone Horde has combined itself with the earth primordial. It's like trying to torture it. But I wonder if we can get either one of their attention. What would get their attention? You know, the Bone Horde's drive was new bones. Right? Hold on, let me check. Destroy and kill and gather new bones. What is the drives of a primordial? I'm pretty sure it's like protect nature or something like that. Let me check the Ironworn book. Primordials. Embody chaos. Cling to vestiges of power. Cling to vestiges of power. Okay, I think I know what we're going to do here. So Albrun makes it to the mouth of the cave. A lot of the elves are still in battle with these undead creatures. The Earth Primordial and Bone Horde are like in a battle of will right now. I think what we're going to try to do here... Let's see. I think what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to invoke. And what we're going to do is, because remember, the essence, the little bit of essence that we have is still vestiges, okay? Vestiges of Cadigan's power. That's what we took into ourselves. And, you know, as we've been trying to use this magic, it has hurt us a lot. This is very risky. We only have 1 spirit, but I think this is the play. And we only have 2 essence, but I think this is the play here. I think this is the only way that we can do this. So we're going to try to trick the Bone Horde. I think, you know what? Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So Albrun, he's looking at this thing, okay? And, you know, he's really not doing too well. He wants to leave, but he's looking at this Bone Horde, and he can see that the Bone Horde has, like, basically combined itself with this Earth Primordial. And so Albrun's going to have the idea, what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to trick this Bone Horde into thinking that Cadigan might still be alive. Because whatever spell or ritual that he did to bind it, I wonder if it's still in effect, okay? And so we're going to try to release some of the essence that we've taken into ourselves, some of Cadigan's essence that we have taken into ourselves, and just kind of make a beacon of power that can be recognized as Cadigan. And in that moment, we're going to try to give the Bone Horde a command, and that is to use the Earth Primordial to cave this place in, okay? It's very ballsy. We do not have a lot of magic. It's a very risky role. I imagine if we miss, we might have to roll in the Mystic Backlash table. I don't know what's going to happen. We only have 3 momentum, but we have to try. We have to. I want the progress, and I think that this is a great way to end this. Hopefully it works. So we are going to leverage Invoke plus Essence. So this is, to me, this sounds like it is... This sounds like Face Danger plus Essence, not Secure an Advantage. Is it? No, I don't think it's Secure an Advantage. It's very risky. It's inherently risky to use this corrupted magic, as we've learned. So this is a danger to us. So yeah, I'm going to say that this is attempting something risky. So this is going to be... Yeah, this is Face Danger plus Essence. Yep, Face Danger plus Essence, so that's a +2. And this is a trick. We're attempting to trick the Bone Horde into something that's not true. Okay, so we're going to add our +1. So this is going to be Face Danger +3. I think. Okay, yep, Face Danger +3. We've rolled with worse odds. Okay, here it is. 5 on the action die, +3 is an 8, versus a 5 and a 2. Strong hit, baby, strong hit. Okay, subtract 1 essence. We are down to 1 essence. Take 1 momentum on a hit when leveraging Invoke. We're up to 4 momentum. On a Face Danger, on a strong hit, you are successful. Take 1 momentum. 5 momentum. Okay, let's get into the fiction. So Albrun is at the mouth of the cave. He's looking across the cavern turned battlefield. Elves are fighting desperately, attempting to form flanks, form ranks, but without the communication, without the war horns, it's like they just aren't able to mesh the way that they were. The Bone Horde and Earth Primordial, now combined into one mass of dried bones and boulders, is just like slamming against the cavern, just in a battle of wills. And Albrun, again, just clutching himself, has no feeling in his arm. He closes his eyes, and when he opens them, they are glowing silver. And he takes his hand, and you can see just the blood vessels in his arm. They suddenly run black, and they run into his hand. Okay, blackened blood vessels, and you just see this glow of just dark, foul magic. This is Cadigan's magic in just its raw form, and Albrun just tosses it up, and it's just this ball of dark, shadowy magic hits the cavern ceiling and just kind of not explodes, but just kind of blooms out. And the Bone Horde, its tiny red eyes suddenly grow just a little bit brighter, recognizing its master's magic. And in that moment, Albrun wills the Bone Horde to do what it needs to do. And so the Bone Horde, it has combined itself with this Earth Primordial. It's able to get into with the power of Cadigan's magic now made new again, it's able to overpower the will of this Earth Primordial for just a few seconds. And the Earth Primordial just kind of is twitching. Its boulders are vibrating. And the Bone Horde is able to get into its mind. And the Earth Primordial brings the cave down. And so starting from the back of the cavern just collapses in, almost like a wave. The elves look, some of them try to run, but it's just caving in too fast. And while we're thinking about it, mark progress. We are marking progress on our dealing with the elves, Val. So we are now at 7 boxes. And so Albrun turns around and he books it out of this cavern. And when he gets to the mouth of the cave, the area that was, the grass and the mushrooms and just the dead barred trees on the outside, he finally sees the moonlight again. He's outside of the cavern. He takes a deep breath, and the mouth of the cavern collapses. And now, where there once was just a huge spanning cavern that stood for centuries under Cadigan's command, is now a pile of rubble. All the elves in there, anything alive in there, is either dead or dying at this point. And the bone horde is trapped down there too. As is, well, I'm sure an earth primordial could get itself out of a cave in, but who knows what is to come of those two things. And we haven't the will nor the time to even entertain um, that thought. And Albrun, I don't even know if he is strong enough to leave. I mean, he just escaped one of the most dangerous things. I almost want to say that Albrun might just collapse right here and now. I don't know, because I don't know how I would resolve that. You know what? We'll save that for next session to see how Albrun fares. If he has the strength to make it back to Matic, if he's going to have to seek help elsewhere, because he's not doing well at all. Okay? But I think that's a great place to end the session. Albrun is now here in the clearing. There isn't a single soul or undead thing in sight, and he's just here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna end it here. Okay, that was session 17. Cool. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna take some time to think about what is next for Albrun. I'm very curious about what's gonna happen, but I will catch you guys next time.